went to Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas.
Huntsville, Texas. And so,
Huntsville, Texas.
and what did you study?
So I started off studying communications, and then I thought that I was gonna like try. I tried pre-med. I thought I was gonna try to do like either pharmacy or nursing, but that wasn't for me. And then so I went to the counselor and I was like, please tell me what degree can I get to where I don't have to be here longer than 4 years.
Ah,
Because I felt like I was wasting
yes.
credits, and I was like, I
Right,
didn't
right.
want,
And I'm
right.
glad
So
you knew so back then. I'm glad you knew at that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like,
Hmm.
the from the credits that I've taken, what degree and what can I study that I graduate on time still. And that's how I got my degree in business.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes. Yes, I got
And
my
what did you want to
bachelor's
do
in
with it?
business. So at first, because I was more focused on business management. Because once I graduated, I got into like working at restaurants. I ended up becoming a manager at a restaurant and stuff like that. And just like eventually owning my own business, that was always the goal. But that transition, because I ended up getting my master's in education and becoming a teacher. So it was like,
Oh, okay. We got
yeah,
to get into that. Okay, we get into that in a
yeah,
moment. Yeah, okay, definitely. Okay, but before we get to that part, so you got into different because I'm glad that you didn't commit yourself to a particular major at that time because a lot of times you make that mistake, including myself, rushing into a major and not, getting into liberal arts or trying to kind of figure out where you want to go. So I'm glad you
right.
didn't. I'm glad you did it that way. Now you said that because I didn't forget about that virginity part, so you ain't lose it until college.
Yes.
Okay, but you said that and then you gave up the V card and he ended up cheating on you. So can you share
Yes, because
more?
I actually met him my senior year in high school, but he was a freshman in college. And so like for all I know, he was probably cheating on me the whole time. I just didn't find out
More than likely.
until yeah, I just didn't find out until my freshman year in my freshman year in college. But yeah, because he went to TSU, and so I went to Sam, and I just remember I was crazy. I was crazy. I'm probably gonna write a movie about it because I was so
Yes, please.
crazy.
Yes, yes.
I was so crazy in love over him, and I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing as far as like once I found out about the cheating, like I was driving up and down 45. Driving up and down 45, pulling up
To
at his
do what?
school, pulling up at his place, pulling up to his track practice, pulling up at his job. He used to deliver pizza for Pizza Hut, and one time, uh, uh, he was delivering the pizza, and by the time he got back to his car, I was in his back seat.
Oh,
It's some things I'm not proud of. It's some things I
how
was
did you
not
get
proud
the
of.
Denise?
Mhm. Mhm. He had me crazy. Like it's like don't cheat on me, okay? Because you're gonna have me crazy.
Yes, yes. PSA, real quick. PSA: do not cheat on Denise Mone't. If you know that you're not ready for commitment and you don't want any type of monogamy whatsoever, please do not
No,
steer
no, and
Denise
and
wrong.
and this is why the relationships that I've had after that, why? Because a lot of people have asked me like, about spinning the block.
Okay.
Because I'm a one and done.
Hmm.
Because I
Hmm.
know how crazy I can get. So like people that have cheated on me in the past after him, it
They
was
have some
like,
stories to
nope.
tell.
I was like, nope,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
not finna have me acting like that again. So I would just leave. I would just leave. I got more mature because I said, you know
Hmm.
what, these people are not worth going to jail over. Because some
Right.
girls throw a brick through your car window,
Yes.
key in your car.
Mhm.
I didn't have my car keyed behind this man.
By somebody else. Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm.
No, but I used to be crazy. Like, all of my stories, my films is all stems
Yes,
from,
you have so much material, Denise. You better use
I
that.
have so much material. I've been married twice, okay? I have so much material.
Oh God, yes. Oh, Denise, girl. We gotta come. We gotta revisit. We gotta speak of spinning the block. We gotta spin this block right here. We got speaking of spinning the block. Because you gotta come back because I gotta hear some of these stories. We gotta have a part two to this. Yeah. Just by
So
your
yeah.
experiences alone, with that alone, that's a whole nother hour. So yeah, we gotta circle this back. We gotta circle back to this. But what I want to know before we go on, how did you get inside that man's car? How did you get inside the
Listen,
car?
so because the car was unlocked because all he was doing was just going to the people's house to deliver it.
Oh,
So while
right,
he
and come
was
right back.
walking to their door, I just got in the back seat and
But
I
how did you
laid
know he
there.
was? Oh,
And you know what? The crazy thing is, it's not like we had the iPhone where we was tracking locations back then. So I'm not even
right.
really 100% sure how I found him.
How did you find?
I
Right.
just knew I knew what Pizza Hut he worked and I knew the area he was delivering in. I think I probably must have just drove around until I found his car. I think that's what I had to have done. I had to until I found his car. I parked my car. I remember parking my car and creeping and getting in his back seat because he had a truck. So I was like in the back. And as he was driving, I popped up. He's like, "Oh!" like, like, yes, I remember those pop ups. I remember those
Yeah,
pop
because I
ups.
wouldn't know what
But
his
you know what's
reaction
crazy?
was.
But you know what's crazy? To this day, that man still love me, and if I wanted him, I could have him back. Yup.
You know that. Don't, you know what, Denise? That don't surprise me. They love,
Little crazy.
they love,
They little crazy.
they love that.
I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They are. Some of them are addicted to that toxicity. They are.
I'm so glad that I've like given up. I don't even
Um,
entertain the toxic life. Like my life right now is so
Calmer.
like yes, so peaceful. Like we communicate, you know what I'm saying? We're transparent, like no, all it's oh the maturity,
Much
the
better. Much
maturity.
better.
Yes.
Yeah. So now
Yes.
that well, 'cause now that into that, what we kind of segue into that, and okay, so this is like a two-part question here.
Hmm.
What are some of the like key things that you learned? I know you talked about it, but I want to get more into the key things that you've learned about yourself and how you handle in a relationship, and how do you navigate now in your current relationship?
Right. So in the past, because for one, like I said, I was after my first love, I was not tolerating cheating from anybody. So
You
any of
shouldn't.
that, it was done. Like I would
Hmm.
break up. I wasn't going back. I wouldn't spin the block or anything like that. Because even one of my exes, I didn't find out that he cheated on me until after we broke up when he tried to get back together with me. But he felt
Mm.
like he needed to come
You
clean.
yeah, come, mhm.
And I
Cleanse
was
his
like, yeah,
conscience.
you should have. I said you should have kept that to yourself because now
Mhm.
I could never
Right.
be back with you.
Yeah.
You know
Now,
what I'm
now I'm
saying?
really done. I'm
Like
really done. Yeah.
yeah, because I never
Mhm.
knew. I never knew while we were together, you know what I'm saying? So, but one thing I had discovered about myself is more so because I'm a giver, and when I see something I tend to try to fix, or um it's almost like a like that nurturing side of me that just
Mhm.
wants to help somebody, and so I tend to stay in something longer than what I should. I've ignored many red flags, just trying
Yes.
to, instead of falling for I was falling for potential instead of realizing who they were. You
Savior
think that,
complex.
yes, you think that
Mhm. Mhm.
eventually that they will
It will
get better
change.
or that they
Yeah.
will change, and you just have to
Mhm.
start believing people for who they are,
Yes.
and the one thing like I like to refer to, especially like when it comes to marriage, like when the scripture of he who finds a wife finds a
Mhm.
good thing, like you have to be that person when that person finds you. If they are not who they are while y'all are dating, while y'all are talking during that stage, a ring is not going to change anything on both sides. That man is not going to change nothing just because he finally decided to marry you, and that woman isn't either. So whatever qualities you are looking for in a person, if they're not showing you that during that dating stage, during that relationship stage, that courting stage, 9 times out of 10 it's not going to change. So you just got to
Mhm.
accept it. You got to
Yeah.
accept it.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Mhm.
for me it was more so um like, baby girl, you can't save everybody, so just, everybody doesn't deserve that type of grace that I be
Yes,
given.
and I'm
So
glad you learned that, because there's some people that within our age group, Denise, that still hasn't gotten it yet. They
mhm.
still haven't learned. But you learned from both marriages. So what was it? Was it the same for both marriages?
So with my first marriage, that one necessarily, I, if just a brief, quick notes, cliff notes. I thought I was gonna
Yes.
die. I thought I was gonna die. It was when I was giving birth to
Mm,
my son, but I had gotten
mm.
tricked. My first husband, I didn't know his real name or his ethnicity or much about him until after I was engaged and pregnant by
Really?
him. Yeah,
Wow.
and so trying to just make it work because I was already pregnant,
Did you make
but
it into
none
the
other
is that a
thing.
movie? Did you make it
Not
into the
yet.
movie yet? Oh,
Not yet.
what you waiting on?
But
Alright, that's
right.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry. I mean, but I'm just like,
But
okay.
just the simple fact of, you know, me, like the whole situation that happened trying to make it work, and then it was during COVID, and so when I was in the hospital about to give birth, he wasn't even there. My mom was there, but then they uh they were like telling me that everything was going like that was going wrong with me, like my body was just shutting down from
Mm,
stress, from
oh,
everything.
no.
Literally right before that, the woman that he was, we with, came to my job to let me know
Oh,
about it while I was
oh,
pregnant. So I
what?
kind of just I had to be like, yeah, I had to be
Oh,
admitted in the hospital,
oh,
and I thought
Denise,
I
I'm
was gonna
sorry.
die. I thought I was gonna
Mm,
die. So I married him in the hospital because I thought I was gonna die.
wow. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Denise, what the hell you waiting on? Where's the script? Are you
So
girl?
that was
Oh,
a different
what?
situation. That was a different situation on why when getting married in that one. But with my second one, I thought for sure, like, okay, he would change, and not seeing the patterns
Right.
of his past
Mhm.
relationship, even the pattern of his father and his relationship, with
Mm,
his father and his mother with their
yes.
marriage and stuff like that. So it was just something that I had to learn really in that relationship. One for sure is taking my time because I am a lover and I would go
Yeah,
all
you love
out.
hard, you
I
love
would
hard.
dive right in.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love really, really hard. And so more so like this with this relationship now, like we don't even talk about marriage. Like, what I'm saying? It's like we don't have to, we've both been married before. So it's like it's no rush for that.
Right,
It's
you
no and
enjoy
I've
the
even had to
time
come.
now. Mhm.
Yes, and I've even had to like I saw a movie that made me realize like people that rush into those things, like it is a red flag. It is a red flag, and I should have seen that, but I didn't because I'm so blinded by the love and the
Yes.
romance and
Mm,
the butterflies and
right.
the honeymoon stage.
You had true
So
intentions.
yes, and
Yeah.
it's and I'm writing a movie about just like how like they talk about us women choosing the wrong men to even father children with.
Yes.
But it's like, how about we talk about the men pretending to be something that they're not, that we fall for,
Amen.
because
Yes.
somebody even asked me, like, when I tell them the story about my first husband, like, so did you like you believed him when I say that he lied to me about his,
I mean, why
I didn't know
wouldn't
he was an
you?
illegal immigrant
Yeah.
from Mexico.
Why
Who
would
lies
you
about their
believe?
ethnicity? Who not?
Like,
Who
why would
lies
I
about
mean, why
that?
would you question there's certain things you're not gonna question, like, why would you question
Right.
that? Like, "Oh, by
Oh,
the way,
you
are you
said
a
you
US citizen?" Like,
if you tell me
yeah.
that you're Jamaican and Puerto Rican, and I'm like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, no, you're not. you know.
Right.
So when I found out that you're an illegal immigrant from Mexico, it's like, wait, what?
Mm,
I told the whole
right.
story on my TikTok, and it's titled "I Thought I Was Marrying a Black Man." So yeah, it's crazy, but I had to learn that from both of those marriages. And so like I said, the relationship I'm in now, we're just being patient with one another and taking our time
Absolutely.
and enjoying, this journey, especially now. This is my first time dating somebody that's within the same industry as me as well. And so just that aspect alone, because my past relationships, not even just my marriages, but even guys I've tried to date, with the jealousy and the insecurity of me being in films,
Being
having to
mhm,
do kissing
mhm.
scenes or love scenes or just being in a relationship in a movie in general. A lot of men can't handle that. Women too, on both sides. And
Of
so
course,
you have to
especially
be,
women.
secure
Mhm.
within
Yes.
yourself, to know your partner, to trust your partner and know that it's just film. And so I'm grateful to have met somebody that we're on the same page when it comes to that.
Yes.
And we can communicate about the same things. We have the same goals. So yeah,
And I
it's
think it's
just a
better
lot different.
too. Yeah, it is. And I think also, Denise, I think relationships and marriages last longer when not only when you're older, you understand more about how you need to reflect on certain things, work on yourself, and also don't don't rush the healing process and being able to be more seasoned in it and more,
Yes.
yeah, so I think it just makes such a difference. So I'm happy for you both. And would you mind sharing who that person is? Because yeah,
Yes.
yes, I'm
And
always
for people
patient with
that
that.
want to know, especially
Yeah.
because they think it's a movie, but no, we are in a relationship. I'm in a relationship with Emery Lawrence for everybody that
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
'Cause I wanted you to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Yes.
Yes, shout out to Emery Lawrence. I had the pleasure of interviewing with him a couple of months ago. So make sure you check that interview out. Cool, solid dude,
Yes.
solid dude.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your perspective because I just really, really, it's refreshing to know that not only were you able to be transparent about, the crazy stuff that you was doing, for the sake of love, what you thought that was or how it looked
Right.
at that time. But it was stages, Denise. I mean, you were younger. You know that when you were younger, you were in college, and you like, look, you had certain expectations, and he wasn't fulfilling them. And then with the marriages, and you were able to just kind of have an understanding of what your worth is.
Right.
Nobody could touch that. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I just
Absolutely.
wanted to, yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that. So Denise, what I want to because I want to cover that ground first before I want to get more into your career. So I want to get
Mhm.
more into how that even start for you, and I want you to give me like the start, like how did it happen for you? How did you know that you were creative, like doing through? Because that
Right.
didn't just come out of nowhere. It did not come out of nowhere because when you're creative, that's within you. Like that's something that you probably didn't discover it at that time, like until later
Right.
on, but
Right.
it's innate, in
Yes.
you. So when did you discover that?
So the interesting thing is, as far as like being an actress and filming, because when I was growing up, like I said, I was in a lot of talent shows, so I was always, somebody that wanted to be in the spotlight. But I did not think that it was going to be for acting per
Yeah,
se. And so what discovered it was when I went my senior year in college. I went and auditioned for a play.
okay.
This is my first time just even trying anything. I think I went and saw one and I just kind of got inspired and was like, I wanted to do that. And so I just signed up and I auditioned for a play out in Houston. And at the end of it, when they called my name and said, you're gonna play, we're gonna cast you as Jada. And
Mhm.
I said, Jada. I said, "You mean like the understudy of Jada?" And they said, "No, no, we're gonna cast you as
Oh,
Jada."
extra role. Mhm.
I said, "But that's the lead role." I was like, "Wait, that's the lead."
Yeah,
So I was
right,
like
right.
shocked
They right.
because
They knew what they wanted you to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is my very first time auditioning, doing any type of acting. I never took any classes or anything, but I booked the lead role and it was so much fun because performing on stage is different than film. There's no cut,
Mhm.
and you have to be
Yes.
very good, with knowing your lines and your scene partners and even
Mm,
improv because sometimes you may need to just switch it up. Because I remember during the show, the lights went out in the theater, and I just remember my castmate. She was like, "Jada, girl, you ain't paid the light bill." And I said, "I thought that I did." We just
oh,
keeping
oh,
it going.
wow. I love it. I
You know
love
what I'm
it.
saying? Wow, while they figured the lights out and stuff. But so that was my very first performance doing that. And so from that, when I graduated, I said, I thought I was gonna go to LA. I was like
Mm,
thinking I was looking for apartments. I went out there and visited and everything, but I was like, I cannot afford this, And
mhm,
so then my dad told me that we had family in Atlanta, and so I was like, okay. And then ironically, I had got a DM from somebody that saw my clips and stuff from my play and was like, we want you to audition. We do this play, but this play is like a play that goes on tour. But we are
mm.
based in Atlanta. And so I was like, okay, but I had to go there to audition. So me and my dad, we packed up a bunch of my stuff and we drove out there and I was like, if I make it, I'ma stay. If not, we're gonna just drive back home to
Right,
Houston.
right, right,
So
right.
I auditioned. I got the part and my dad took the mega bus back because we drove my car.
Megabus.
Yes, he
Wow.
took the mega bus back to Houston, and I stayed out there. I lived with a relative for a little bit, and then I ended up getting my own apartment and everything. I started working at Hooters. I was a Hooters girl, so I was working at the restaurant, and that's how I
Yeah,
became a
you still had to
manager.
pay bills.
Yes, like I
Yeah.
I I started off as just a Hooters girl, but I ended up moving up as a manager because they saw that I had my business degree.
Hello. Hey,
Yes,
you
so I
just
was doing
you have to
that.
use somehow. Yeah.
Yes, so I was doing that, and also that's how I got into teaching because I was substitute teaching because it was flexible with the schedule as far as like my filming. So I was doing acting classes. I booked my first feature film called The Killing Secret, where I played the second lead in that one. And so I was doing a lot. I was getting auditions all the time for so many things. I just knew that I was about to book something big, but then I found out that I had the cyst and I had
Oh,
moved back home and had the surgery. And yeah, so that brought me back home to Houston. And I met with like people that was filming out here, like Brandy Specs. That's how I met Brandy Specs. And I auditioned because she actually went to Sam Houston as well. And so she kind of like helped me get in, and I auditioned for some stuff, became a PA on a set, and from that set, the guy that was the director, he was like, I was like just kind of calling things out a lot, like just noticing things and helping out more than just a PA. And he was just like, you got a really good eye, you would be a good director. And I was
mm,
like,
mm.
what? No. He's like, no, I'm serious, like, I want to hire you to direct my next film. And then that's how I
Just like that.
directed. Yeah, I
Wow.
directed the very next film. I was the director, and then that's how I got started. And I've been writing, directing, and I was doing other people's films, directing and writing other people's films. And then um I finally wrote my own script, um, which is I wrote the script about I got catfish while I was living out there in Atlanta. And so I turned it into a movie. It's called The Break of Dawn. And
Okay.
so I
Look out
wrote
for
that
that.
back when I lived
Okay.
in Atlanta, but I
Okay.
finally, got to do my own script. So I now I think I definitely have like over 50 credits as just an actress.
Oh
But
wow, that's
yeah,
amazing,
it's
Denise.
just yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just stuff that's out. Because I still
Right.
have stuff
Right.
that's not even out yet.
Right.
I'm going by like my IMDb. But as far as like credits overall, I think it's almost close to 300 because of writing, directing, producing, and
Yes.
acting.
That's right. You better
And
add
other
all
people's
those up.
stuff.
That's right.
Yes, yes, and
Mm-hmm.
editing too. So like now I'm coming up with like my next project that's I'm waiting to turn in and drop is my series Mo City. Mo City Dirty Game. So I'm excited about it cuz I've been doing movies for so long, but to finally do a series, and I'm doing
Love
it
it.
with O'Shea and Bolo from All the Queensmen. They're executive
Nice.
producers on it. So I'm
Oh, yeah,
excited. So
I've
yeah,
seen the
that's
photos. Yes. Yes.
yeah, so from to go from just, auditioning for a play, and getting the lead to where I am now, it's a crazy story. I tell my dad all the time that I can't wait to accept my first big, award. And I
Award.
say,
Uh-huh.
my dad drove me to Atlanta for my very first
I
audition, and
took
I told him
Megabus
if I
back.
stay, and he took the mega bus back.
Wow. That's
So
amazing,
yeah.
Denise. And so let me ask you this, Denise. Because I know you have a lot under your belt, but I just was curious about when you actually see your work, whether you're behind the screen or in front of it, what is your initial reaction to whatever work you do from the outside looking in, on the inside looking out?
So
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
So um for one, acting is always gonna be my first love. So I love when I see myself on the screen. It just amazes me, how far I've come along,
Mhm.
especially with my very first film and how it looked to now, especially with the quality and
The
everything.
progress.
Even
Yes.
just the makeup, like
Yes.
shout out to Chelsea. I brought her on for Merry Little Baby, and that was my first film where I actually had a makeup artist on set, and she just made me look so
Ah,
pretty. It was just my makeup was so pretty, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta have a makeup artist all the time now,"
right. You need your
because I
glam
was just
squad now.
Yes,
Yeah,
right. So yes, and so just seeing the transition from the first film that I did to the films that I see now, especially because I love to tell different type of stories. I don't like for my stories to be predictable. I like to have the great plot
absolutely.
twist that nobody figures out. And of course, my comedies like Merry Little Baby and the newest one that we're gonna have this year called Mama Mae's Christmas. To be able to showcase different range. To play the drama. To play the crazy obsessed wife, to play the detective, and to play, the funny girl. So I love that I can show my range within that as well. And so I think Merry Little Baby is the one that opened that up for me because it's my first one. Jaleesa, who is a business partner of mine, she actually cast me as my first lead role in Through Sickness and Hell, because all of
Okay.
the other movies I've always played like a small cameo or just a supporting role, but she cast me to where I was number one on the call sheet. I was the lead character, and so a lot of people will be shocked by that. I'm like, I started off in 2013 when I did my first play, and here I am now. We did that in 2024. So it's like, to see that how the journey, that it took
Trajectory.
to me to get, yes, to get to that lead
Mm.
role and to be that. But then for Mary Little Baby, that was my first project where I was the writer, director, producer, as well as number one on the call sheet. Because it's not easy to
Ooh.
do all of that on a
Mm-mm.
project, so to direct and be the lead role.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it ever since that project because I'm like, if Tyler Perry can do it, I can do it too. Doggone
What? Right?
it.
I know, because I can imagine. I mean, how do you manage those roles? But before you answer that question, I want to know how often do you critique yourself on screen? Like when you look at yourself,
Time. All the time.
like how
Especially
did I?
like because
Yeah,
the
why
camera
I say it
adds
like
10
that?
pounds. I'd be like, I
Yeah.
gotta get in the gym. Like, or the fact that, I had a project where I didn't have Chelsea do my makeup because of the budget or whatever. And to see
Right.
the difference, like when I see the project where she did do my makeup and I look so pretty and not, it's like, no, we need to, whatever I
Yeah.
need to do, we gotta keep the makeup. We gotta keep the
Yeah.
makeup.
Keep it. Yes.
So it was
Yes.
just a learning journey. But then I'm like hard on myself, especially when I see mistakes or things that we don't catch until it's out. You know, and so I do kind of just be hard on myself, just wanting to be better, on the next one. um and so, but I have a really good team of people who help me and who I trust, that'll tell me the truth, because I'm like, don't sugarcoat nothing for me. If you see something, say something.
Yes.
So I appreciate people for that, the people that are surrounded around in this film industry.
Wonderful. Support system. See, it all goes back to
Yes.
the support system. But I
Yes.
also real quickly, I wanted to ask you, like, when you have to play, I mean, wear multiple hats behind the scenes, like, how do you manage it? I know you said about your support system, but outside of the support system, what is your approach um towards
So,
that, towards
right.
managing all those
It
roles?
it more so started off because budget wise, not being able to pay everybody to do.
Right.
So it was more so me taking on more of
Mm-hmm.
the load. But then it became just that because of the crew and even the actors that I work with. A lot of people, a lot of directors work with a lot of the same actors because you can trust, them that they're gonna know what they're supposed to do. So even on my sets, like unless it's somebody just brand new that's never worked with me before that I really have to direct, a lot of the times they make my job a lot easier to where we can all just work and flow together. And even my crew, I have somebody that I'm making sure you watching the monitor, you see things, even though everybody don't catch things like I do. So I got to go look at the playback. And I said from now on, I'm looking at playback because it's so many things when I get in the editing that I see that I'm like, so nobody saw this. Nobody seen this big old boom mic, like you know what I'm saying? Or nobody saw this cord just dangling in the middle of the screen. Nobody saw that, like you know what I'm saying? So, or it'd be like a water bottle somewhere all the way just sitting in the scene that
Just
ain't
sitting
supposed to
there.
be there.
Yeah.
So but they've I've learned them and they learned me. And so we able to work like a well-oiled machine together, you know. So that's why, because a lot of I get a lot of people, DPs, that want to, work with me, or even, other crew members. And I'm like, listen, y'all, I've learned, like, when I've switched crews, I regret it every time, because especially when I'm playing in the film, I can't, I can't always, be the multiple hats at the same time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to trust the people that I'm surrounded with in my crew. So
Yes.
that helps me out a lot. And like I said, working with a lot of the same people that are really talented and strong actors that I don't necessarily have to coach and direct. And it's more so like, once we ran through the table read and rehearsed and everything, and we understand what we need to do, I kind of like to let my actors, just become the character, and I trust them. So
Absolutely. And yeah, so thank you for sharing that. But Denise, I want your honest answer here. I mean, you've been honest this whole time, so I ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, so um, what is it that are you truly happy with? What are you truly
as
happy with?
far as in the film
In,
industry
in general, overall,
in
what are
general,
you happy with?
I would have to say, to be able to do this full time as a
Okay.
single mom,
Hmm.
it brings me joy. And especially after a divorce, because I quit my job while married,
Mm,
because I
mm,
had, that support system with his income, making sure that, bills and stuff were going to get paid as I was chasing this dream. But then I got a divorce, and it was like, how am I going to do this now? Like, it's not a consistent thing when it comes to, your movies making money. Your movie make, you
yes.
know, enough to pay your mortgage this month and next month, and ain't
Right.
even enough to pay the grocery bill. So it's like, it's been a challenge, but I have been relying on my faith in God that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, because that was something scary for me, to step out on faith and not go back to work after getting my divorce, because I'm like, I need to be able to take care of my child. I need to be able to pay my mortgage and everything. But I stepped out on faith and kept going. So I am truly happy to say that I have been doing this full time for 3 years without working another job. And that's just a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm really as well as your triumph. So